All right, everybody, welcome back to our Classic Games Done Quick 10th anniversary special. We're right in the middle of a fast and frantic NES block, and we're gonna go ahead and do Chip and Dale. And Endy is back, and he's ready to go whenever you're ready, Endy.
All right, I think I'm live.
Yep.
Darkman cut out a bit for me here, so
Sorry.
hello.
But,
It's fine. It's fine. Welcome back, everyone. I am still EndySWE, and I'm going to play Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers for you. And in homage of the Classic Games Done Quick round by Fressiman 10 years ago, I'm actually playing a bit of the demo here, like he did back in the day. There's also a reason I'm doing this, so it's not just for the homage. Anyway, we're gonna start a run on my countdown in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. So this is the first stage coming up, and oddly enough, it's actually the hardest. I would say it's one of the hardest stages in the game. Honestly, it's really tough to. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, well, I don't know what to blame there. That was horrible. My controller was sticky or something. Nah, that was just me being bad. The climb section there is extremely difficult to do fast because the jump variation in this game can basically choose your height of your jumps every. There's a big variation in how you can do them. So, and those are not maximum type jumps, so you have to time your inputs very precisely. Either way, we are off here, and let's see here. Sorry for the kids. Having a bit of fights in the background, but
sorry, it has flavor. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah. Anyway, first stage of the game. If I would have died in that first screen there, you take 2 damage boosts to get through faster, and if you die, I mean that's one of the longest screens in the game, so you kind of lose like 45 seconds or something, which is insane. The first boss fight. One good mechanics about the boss fight is that. Actually, basically, you don't have you can re-grab the ball in midair, as you saw, and it's not that hard really because you can actually hold down B to buffer it. So you just have to time your throws basically. So it's not that complicated, thankfully. A lot of runners don't know this, so they try to time the B press, which makes it really hard. Anyway, second stage coming up, we have one of the first weird obstacles, some water taps. What I did there, I grabbed a box early on, actually threw the box to the right, and for some reason that counts as a jump, so I saved some frames by throwing a box instead of doing a jump. Okay, so back to the title screen thing. I was actually showing a bit of the demo in the beginning, and that is one of the most recent big discoveries in this game, a major breakthrough, because one thing that Capcom Disney games are very known for is a very heavy boss RNG. Let's see if I can get this. Oh, nice. Okay, so there's a very heavy boss RNG in this game. But the thing is, there was a few people, Moldeman among others, discovered that if we actually wait for the demo to start playing, from the title screen, it actually locks the game RNG, so you get the same boss challenge every time. This was, of course, not known in 2010, but I took a look at Fressiman's original run today, and it actually happened that he waited on the title screen just for introductions and such. So he actually has the exact same boss challenge as I have this run, which is cool. Kind of interesting. So everything is very authentic to his run here, except the strats have evolved quite a bit. I think Fress's time at CGDQ was a 12:54, if I remember correctly, which is, well, he died a few times. He had a few bad deaths, which was very unfortunate. So I was a bit sad. But why did I do that? But we're actually gonna, and the world record at the time, I should say. I tried to do some research, but I was not able to find a world record as early as 2010. Let's see here. Okay, oh, nice. Anyway, I was not able to find an early run as 2010. I did find the first known time I know is from a runner named Plage, who had a 10:38 in November 2011. Then later, November 2011, let's see here, Fiesel, who has been done a few runs already here at CGDQ, I think. Fiesel had a 10:14, which stood for several years, I think. When I started running this game in 2015, the world record was held by a Canadian runner named Footdive, and he actually broke the very first sub 10-minute barrier in this game. So he had a 9:59.9. I managed to beat this time with my first record was a 9:57. And I basically grinded the game down in time. I think it was to 9:54 was my best time before the RNG manipulation was found. The run has changed a lot since then because you had a lot of resets early on in the game. You know, that spaceship boss I killed. He can go at like 5 different heights, and you never know what you're gonna get if you play with RNG. So you could easily lose a lot of seconds there. And the robot I faced in the previous stage, he can also move out very far onto the screen, so you never know what you get there either. So it was very hard to get the time down consistently. So, but now since the RNG, before the RNG manip was discovered, I think we were 5 or 6 people that had a sub 10 in this game. And the RNG manipulation was actually found, was it this year or late last year? I don't remember. But however, there are like 17 or 19 people that have a sub 10 now in just, a short, less than a year. So you can see how huge of an impact it had on the game. Because kind of like DuckTales, this game is a lot about, well, it's a lot of movement, but there's also a lot of the boss fights are extremely important, and there's where the biggest time saves are, I would say, consistent. All right, let's see. This is probably one of the most technical stages coming up. I haven't really talked very much about the game itself because I think the gameplay is pretty self-explanatory. It's all about movement optimizations and not bumping edges, grabbing the boxes fast, not getting hit, etc., etc., which is harder than it sounds. So let's see if we can. Okay, that was not very impressive. My climbs are not my proudest moment today, which is unfortunate. One of the biggest advantages I have in this game is actually my ability to climb fast. Kind of sad I haven't been able to show that off today, but you just have to trust me. Why do I keep hitting that guy? It's weird. It's fine. Now, let's see. There's a pretty tricky final jump coming up here. Hopefully. Oh, okay. We made it through. Okay, that was a fairly decent stage aside from having a horrible climbing. Okay, so the next stage is basically one of those boring middle stages. It's really hard. You can, unless you do something, unless you screw up really bad, there's not any way to really lose a lot of time in this stage, except on the boss fight. As you can see, the fans here are pushing me back, so there's no possible way to do this section faster. You just have to wait. In the multiplayer, there's a co-op run of this game, which has had some amazing improvements lately by Sinister1 and General Andrews. And they actually first Sinister1 and myself beat like an 8-year-old world record at this summer. But then Sinister1 and General Andrews beat that time down with several more seconds with some new strats and optimizations. The previous world record holders in this was Cypher and Blecky, which had, for the time, amazing co-op run. Here. If you hit him very precise on the first hit, he doesn't actually fall apart. He's supposed to fall apart more. For every time you hit him, basically it goes to the middle. But you can skip one of those falling apart sections, so I got the perfect feel there. Anyway, final stage with the best music in the game, accompanied by baby screams, so it cannot be better, right? This stage is extremely difficult, so I should probably shut up when I play this one. See if we can get the next screen properly. We're gonna try an extremely hard axe boost here. Make it or break it, let's go. See. Ah, we didn't get it, but it was a good try. And we spawned the next axe, so that was not a major time loss either. Good. Okay, basically a task strat that we modified a bit to make it more RTA viable. You can see how fast I grab the boxes there. I basically jump when I pick them up, so I don't get any animation for picking them up. Here, now it's... Oh wow, luckily I had one more health. Time is coming up. Time.
Just missed the sub 10.
Ah, okay. So I didn't get the old foot dive record, sadly, but I did beat the world record at the time, definitely. That was back in 2010. That's still a very good run. 10:01, I'm happy with that from in a marathon settings. There was no deaths. That's the most important part. But this is also one of those games that I can really recommend just pick up and learn to play, because it's a really easy one to learn. It's really hard to master, as with most of the NES games. But it's one of those games that I recommend for speedrunners who, just starting out, maybe don't know what game to play and stuff. Thank you very much for having me in this classic event. I'm sad I can't go to the main AGDQ this year, but I hope everyone has a great time there. And shoutouts to all the entire Chippendale and Disney Capcom community. It's a very friendly community, so don't be afraid to step up to us and ask questions if you have any interest in running any of the games. So, thank you everyone, and I will leave it over to the next runner.
Thank you very much, Endy, for both of your runs today, and stick around. We'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to have some Aladdin action, so we'll be right back.